Have you ever stared at a French sentence and thought, wait, is it la or la, un or une? If this has ever confused you, you're in exactly the right place. Welcome to this A1 French grammar lesson on nouns, specifically how every single French noun has a gender and how nouns change when there's more than one of something. By the end of this video, you will confidently know how to identify masculine and feminine nouns, how to make them plural, and how to handle the most common irregular forms. Let's dive in. Let's start with the most fundamental concept in French grammar. Every single noun has a gender. In French, nouns are either masculine or feminine. And this applies to all nouns, not just people. Even a table, a book, or the sun has a grammatical gender. This is a purely grammatical property. Why does gender matter? Because it affects the articles you use, the adjective endings, and more. You'll hear this connection in almost every French sentence. For masculine nouns, we use the article le. So, le garçon, the boy, le livre, the book, le soleil, the sun. For feminine nouns, we use la. So, la fille, the girl, la table, the table, la lune, the moon. Notice how the article changes depending on the gender of the noun. Before we go deeper into gender rules, let's meet the 4 core French articles, because these are the words that reveal a noun's gender every time you speak or write. First, le, the definite article for masculine singular nouns, meaning the. For example, le chat, the cat. Second, la, the definite article for feminine singular nouns, also meaning the. For example, la maison, the house. Third, un, the indefinite article for masculine singular nouns, meaning a or an. For example, un chien, a dog. And fourth, une, the indefinite article for feminine singular nouns. For example, une pomme, an apple. These 4 articles are your first clue about any noun's gender. One very important rule. When a noun starts with a vowel or a silent H, le and la both contract to just L apostrophe. So instead of le ami, you say l'ami. Instead of la-er, you say l'er. This is called elision. Now let's look at how to form the feminine of French nouns. This is one of the key grammar rules you'll use constantly. The most basic rule is simple. Add the letter E to the end of the masculine noun to make it feminine. If the noun already ends in E, it stays the same. For example, un ami becomes une amie. The word for friend, masculine, ami, gets an E added, une amie. Un étudiant, a male student, becomes une étudiante, a female student. And un voisin, a male neighbor, becomes une voisine. Now, certain noun endings follow their own special patterns for the feminine form. Let's look at the most important ones. Nouns ending in ur become euse. So vendeur, salesman, becomes vendeuse, saleswoman. Nouns ending in become air. So boulanger, baker, masculine, becomes boulangère, baker, feminine. Notice the accent grave added to the E. Nouns ending in N double the N and add E, becoming N. So musicien becomes musicienne. And nouns ending in O double the N too. Lion becomes lionne. Like any language, French has exceptions. Some nouns are completely irregular in their feminine forms. The word simply changes entirely, with no pattern to follow. The most important one, un homme, a man, and une femme, a woman. these two words are completely different from each other. No rule, just memory. Un garçon, a boy, and une fille, a girl. Again, completely different words. Un père, a father, and une mère, a mother. These look somewhat similar, but notice how the entire base changes. Un fils, a son, and une fille, a daughter. Interestingly, fille means both girl and daughter in French. Un frère, a brother, and une sœur, a sister. Notice the unique ligature in sœur, the OE joined together. Here's the single most important tip for mastering gender. Always learn every new noun together with its article, le or la, un or une. That way gender becomes automatic over time. Now let's tackle the second half of this lesson, number. How do you make a French noun plural? The great news, the main rule is very simple. You add the letter S to the end of the noun, just like English. And the plural article for both masculine and feminine is les. So le chat, the cat, becomes les chats, the cats. The article changes from le to les, and we add S. La maison, the house, becomes les maisons, the houses. The article changes from la to les, and S is added to the noun. With indefinite nouns, un and une both become des in the plural. Des means some, or simply a number of something. So un livre, a book, becomes des livres, some books, or books. Now for the irregular plurals. Some endings change differently instead of just adding S. Nouns ending in ao take the plural ao. So gâteau, cake, becomes gâteaux, cakes. Nouns ending in eu add an X instead of S. So je, game, becomes je, games. Nouns ending in al change to ao. This is very important. Animal becomes animo, not animals. Many learners get this wrong. And nouns that already end in S, X, or Z stay completely the same in the plural. So bras, arm, stays bras. Voix, voice, stays voix. Only the article changes to show plurality. Now, let's see everything we've learned working together in real, natural French sentences. First sentence, le professeur parle aux étudiants. The teacher speaks to the students. Here, le professeur is masculine singular, and les étudiants is masculine plural. We added S to étudiant. Second sentence, une femme et une fille entrent. A woman and a girl enter. Both nouns are feminine singular, so both take une. Third sentence, j'ai des animaux à la maison. I have animals at home. Des animaux is the irregular plural of un animal. Remember, all becomes o. And la maison is feminine singular. Fourth sentence, les enfants mangent des gâteaux. The children eat cakes. Les enfants is a plural noun. Enfant can be masculine or feminine. And des gâteaux uses the irregular e-odd plural that takes an X. Both irregular plurals in one sentence. All right, it's quiz time. Pause the video right now and try to answer each question before I reveal the answer. This is where the learning really happens. Question 1. Fill in the correct article. Blank, étudiante, travaille bien. Étudiante means female student. Think about the gender and the starting letter. Pause and think. The answer? Étudiante is feminine, so you'd start with la. But étudiante begins with a vowel, so elision kicks in, and we must say L'étudiant travaille bien. Did you remember the elision rule? Question 2. Make the noun plural. Un journal, a newspaper. What is the plural? Think about the all ending rule. The answer is des journaux. Journal ends in all, so the plural is all, journaux. The article becomes des in the indefinite plural. Question 3. What is the feminine form of un boulanger, a male baker? The answer is une boulangère. The ending changes to in the feminine, with an accent grave on the e. Une boulangère, a female baker. Here's a bonus section that many teachers skip, but it will genuinely help you. Certain noun endings give you a strong clue about the gender, even for words you've never seen before. Endings that are usually masculine include âge, le village, le garage, mon, le gouvernement, le moment, au, le bureau, le gâteau, and isme or east, le tourisme. And on the feminine side, sion and sillon, la nation, la décision, ité and té, la liberté, la qualité, la voiture, la nature, and ens or ens, la chance, la patience. One important caveat: these patterns are tendencies, not absolute rules. There are always exceptions. The safest approach is always to learn every new word with its article right from the start. Excellent work making it to the end of this lesson. Let's quickly recap everything you've mastered today. Every French noun is masculine or feminine. You use le and on for masculine, la and une for feminine, and les or des for plural nouns of any gender. When a noun starts with a vowel or silent H, le and la contract to L' through elision. To make nouns feminine, the basic rule is to add e, but certain endings follow their own patterns. Becomes euse, a becomes er, n becomes n, and some nouns like homme and femme are completely irregular. For plurals, add s in most cases, but watch out for ao becoming aox, all becoming atox, ao becoming aox, and nouns ending in s, x, or z that stay unchanged. Now, here's your challenge, and I want you to take this seriously because it will cement your learning. Write one original French sentence in the comments that uses at least one masculine and one feminine noun. Any sentence at all. We read every single comment. If this lesson helped you, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. We post a new structured French grammar lesson every single week, completely free and designed to take you from A1 all the way to fluency. In our very next lesson, we'll build directly on today's foundation and explore adjective agreement, how adjectives in French must match the gender and number of the noun they describe. See you there. À bientôt.